Hi, I'm Ashley Gardner, the owner of Pinots Palette Bricktown, and this is Pour Yourself a Masterpiece, your insider guide to painting, drinking, and having fun. On today's episode, I'm going to give you some really cool painting techniques that you can apply at your next class. So with all of our classes, if you've never been here before, our artists will guide you step by step through a featured painting. If you need help along the way, they are there, and they're absolutely incredible. So today, I'm just going to give you some insider tips so you're kind of one step ahead of the game for your next class here. So what I'm going to be showing you guys today is a blending technique to merge two completely different colors without having a really harsh line in the center. So an example of that, we have gray at the top of this painting, and then it merges down into a nice teal color. But you never see a sharp line of where these two colors meet. So I'm going to show you how to actually get that today. So first I'm using my big brush, and we're going to start with that gray top. So I'm going to mix a gray color, mixing a little bit of white and just a touch of black until I get a gray color I am happy with. And before I actually start painting with this gray color, I'm also going to mix the teal color that we are going to use. Because the trick with this technique is the paint must be wet in order for it to blend together really nicely. So now that I've got my gray, I'm going to rinse out my brush so I can create that pale teal color. So to create that, I'm going to take a scoop of white and just a tiny touch of my dark green and mix that together so that I have that really pretty pale teal. So I'm going to rinse my brush one more time before getting started. And again, like I said, the reason I created these two colors before is so that I can go from one color to the next without wasting any time so that it doesn't dry too much before I get to the next color. So I'm just going to paint a small portion of my canvas to demonstrate this. So I'm going to start with my gray and just using horizontal brush strokes. I'm going to start bringing this gray down. And if your paint ever feels really dry, like it's not budging enough, you can always add a little bit of water to your brush. So now that I have this gray on here, now I'm going to bring my teal into it. So without rinsing my brush, I'm just picking up a scoop of that teal mix that we made, and then I'm going to go right where we haven't painted yet. And since I still have the gray on my brush, I can move my brush back and forth until it blends nicely. Now as I move down, I'm not going to want the gray to come with me as I move down the canvas. So I'm rinsing my brush off. I'm going to pick up some more of that pale teal color and continue to work downwards. Now right now I feel like I still have a little bit of a line, but that's okay because the paint is still wet, so I will be able to merge those colors together really nicely in just a second. I just want to make sure I don't get any gray in this bottom portion. So I'm not going to do brush strokes on top of my gray and then paint in this bottom section because I don't want the gray in the bottom section. So right here is where we need to work on those colors merging. So the way I'm going to do that, I have just a little bit of that teal color on my brush, and then just by moving my brush back and forth, slightly up and then slightly down, I get a really nice even blend of those two colors without having a really harsh line of those two colors meeting up. So there's one example of this technique, and we have this painting I mentioned earlier, Blooming Butterflies, coming up in April on a Saturday afternoon. So much fun, perfect for spring. The next painting that I want to show you guys is going to be a similar technique with our Ladybug Meadows painting. You can see we have green at the bottom and then yellow, like a really dark yellow in the center, and then it fades to light. So in order to get this, we're going to pretty much do about the same thing. I'm going to get my brush cleaned off and then dry it off with my paper towel. So what I'm going to do this on this side, and I'm going to start by mixing some white and my bright yellow together. And for that top corner, there's going to be more white. So I'm going to just kind of start in the center and we'll go from there. So starting in the center with some yellow and white on my brush. And as I move up, I'm going to wipe off my brush and pick up some plain white. So I didn't rinse my brush, I just wiped it off. So it's okay if it has a little hint of that yellow on there. But I'm gonna do some plain white at the top. And then just like we did before, I'm gonna merge this yellow and white together so we don't have a harsh line again. And then as I work my way down, you can pick up some plain bright yellow, so get another shade of that. And again, just working my brush back and forth is going to help us not have a really harsh line where these colors are merging. The last thing I'm going to do is that green at the bottom. So this is where it can get tricky because this green is a really strong color. So I'm going to pick up just a tiny, tiny touch of this and a big scoop of my yellow and white mix. And so I'm going to put this in right here. And you can see it slightly turned green. And as I go further down, I can add a little bit more green. And just running my brush back and forth is going to help this blend really nice. So then I have the darkest green at the bottom. So I'm going to now go upward with this and just running my brush back and forth, I'm going to get a really pretty blend. So there you have it, how to merge colors together so that it blends really nicely and you don't have a really harsh meeting line. The painting I mentioned before, the Ladybug Meadows, this is going to be one of my favorite classes. It's Mimosa Sunday, and this is coming up in April as well. So thank you so much for joining me on Pour Yourself a Masterpiece today. Be sure to check out our full calendar for upcoming classes at pinotspalette.com/bricktown. And don't forget to check out past episodes and future episodes of Pour Yourself a Masterpiece at pinotspalette.com/bricktown/blog. Thank you so much, and I look forward to painting, drinking, and having fun with you soon.